Hey everyone, this is Mike Bernard. Actually, you might remember me from I don't know, could possibly be a podcast show you might have seen me on 2 years ago called Breakfast and Body Slam. I was also known as the Better Bernard. That's right, Mr. Patrick Bernard. I didn't forget, and now I just reminded all these people. I'm taking over the show to talk about WWE Payback tonight. As the pay-per-view just ended not too long ago, about 11:30, so I'd say about 10 minutes ago now. Overall, it was all right. Probably not one of their best pay-per-views, but it was entertaining to say the least. And we had a surprise return. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Without further ado, let's start with the main event, with the match that just ended between Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth freaking Rollins. Now, of course, it had your typical moments in the match where it could go either way, but it didn't have the typical of hit your finisher and then the person kicks out, which seems to be the theme of WWE, especially lately. But they did have some spots where it was, it kind of made you think that maybe Shinsuke was going to take it because Seth missed some big opportunities. But in the end, and by the way, before I tell you who won, this is why it's best not to read the results of what you see, rumors, things like that, because they're just not. It's baloney. It's baloney. Just you got to watch the show to find out what really is going to. There's always speculation, but yeah, the only way to actually know is, some things you can kind of guess if you've been watching for a long time, like I have. I've been watching since I was a kid. But other than that, yeah. So anyhow, without any further ado, the winner of that match, and still WWE Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. So anybody who loves Seth Rollins, well, there you go. The match before that was another championship match between the Judgment Day's own Rhea Ripley, and she was facing off against Raquel Rodriguez, formerly of NXT. And Raquel did give her a run for her money. They both put on a great match. I can see Raquel being a WWE Women's Champion in the future. Definitely. She's dominant. She showed Rhea her dominance. Rhea tried her signature grab the arm and clothesline from hell kind of move, and 3 or 4 times, and Raquel just laughed at her. So yeah, she's a dominant female WWE superstar, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Rhea win that title a few more times. To be honest, those two seem to be stepping up as your top tier Monday Night Raw women that are coming up. Of course, you got Becky Lynch. But we'll talk about her in a little bit because it seems like she's got something else going on right now. But I can't tell you about that at this very moment because we're talking about Rhea and Raquel. So we'll see. I don't think that this storyline is done by any chance. I don't think this is a short storyline. I think Raquel's going to keep coming back for more until she gets that title. Or unless somebody else interferes and shows up. But other than that, we'll see. We'll see what WWE has in store. Let's see. This is not easy going backward, and it's not. I should have wrote down the matches. I just was not totally not paying attention to shaking off the rust. Okay, it's been a while since I've done this thing here live in front of everyone. Oh yeah. Don't worry there, Pablo. We are going to talk about the Judgment Day tag team match. If that's the match that was before that, which I think it was. That was the match. Yeah, when you have 4 members, well, I'm sure it's going to be like. It's going to be 5 because we see McDonough got his hands involved. It's kind of tough to keep the strap around your waist when you've got hook and crook left and right. The Judgment Day are man, they're sneaky, conniving. They're kind of like a modern day NWO. You just want to see somebody like especially like when they're pulling sneaky moves left and right. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they're the only guys out there. You are hoping that somebody else comes in and gets involved and stops these guys. Man. Obviously, you know where I'm going with this because the disappointment is right to where it's leading. Because, ladies and gentlemen, your new tag team champions is none other than Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Oh, but like I said, you got 4 members here, and soon to be a 5th because McDonough got his hands involved. I mean, it was just hook and crook all around. No matter what Sami and Kevin Owens did, even fighting to the outside, even with Kevin Owens doing a swanton off the one walkway, he put Dominic right through a table with a swanton. Still. I mean, somebody's got to step up. A faction's got to step up and take these guys down. But I don't, as long as they're running as they say, they're running WWE, they're doing things the way they're doing, it's going to be a while before anyone gets anything over on them, even in singles competition, because there's going to be hook and crook. And so either which way, So we'll see. We'll see what happens with those guys. Now, if I'm going backward, I'm going to try this the best as I can. If I mess up, I apologize. But there was a segment with the Grayson Waller effect. Good old Grayson Waller. And you'd see that Grayson is the next one to have a show in the ring, kind of like The Miz with Miz TV. And I love how Cody Rhodes, because Cody Rhodes was his guest. Man, like Cody came right out with it. You know, he's like, let's get down to the nitty gritty. The precedent for this is much like Piper's Pit or the one with Jake the Snake Roberts. Like he was like naming all of them. He's like, the precedent is basically the nitty gritty is you're gonna. Cody says to Grayson, "You're gonna say something to me that's mean. You're gonna try to get under my skin, and then I take my tie off, and I hit you with the crossroads." That's what everybody wants to see, right? And, you know, of course, the crowd's going. But he's right. You know, the set gets torn apart. Those things never end well, and they didn't end well. But it wasn't because of Cody Rhodes. Well, kind of wasn't because of Cody Rhodes. It was because who Cody Rhodes brought back. And that is none other than the Uso from day one himself, Jey Uso, is back in WWE. But if you're a longtime fan like I am, you kind of already knew that was going to happen. Whether he showed up on the Grayson Waller effect or, you know, the next pay-per-view or maybe Raw or SmackDown, it was happening. So, I thought it was, you know, of course that was a good pop. I myself never go along with any of the like Seth Rollins doing, you know, how the crowd does a chant Cody Rhodes song. Jey Uso was doing his thing, his gesture, had the whole in place doing it. But I'll explain why I don't do that later. But anyhow, that was a good segment there to bring Jey Uso back. And of course, now we know, obviously, he's going to go back to fighting with his brother, Jimmy. And probably Roman, his cousin, Solo. And it's going to be a whole disruption of the bloodline all over again. So that'll probably be Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, one of them. Something's brewing. Now, I think before that, was Austin Theory versus Rey Mysterio. And man, I can't believe as old as Rey Mysterio is, the way he works that ring. Like, man, like he's still flying around. He's still in great shape. And the things he does just in midair is amazing. It's phenomenal. He still has it. He still got it. I mean, and Rey Mysterio, people don't realize, Rey Mysterio's been around in WWE for a long time. He's been around for years, guys. He's been around for years. He is like veteran plus. He's like, man. He's like super legend. I was trying to think of the right word to put it. And the place loved him, and they loved the result at the end of that match, because the result at the end of that match, just when you thought Austin Theory was going to hit him with his finisher, well, wrong. That didn't happen. what happened was Rey Mysterio won that match fair and square and showed him why he is the veteran that he is and why he is a great WWE superstar. Well, Austin is a great young competitor. He's up and coming, but he is still got a long way to go, and you can see it. The steel cage match between Becky and Trish. Now, okay, let me take you a little trip on memory lane here before we really get into the nitty gritty of that match, especially after the match was really the bigger highlight. Back in the day, that steel cage match, whether it was steel cage, elimination chamber, Hell in a Cell, those kind of matches. Where we got this? Yeah. Theory is, I agree. You can see it. I agree, Chio. I agree. Those kind of matches were deadly. Like, there was guaranteed bloodshed in those matches. There's like no doubt about it. Someone's getting severely hurt and someone's shedding blood. Especially in the Attitude Era. My goodness, like, there was like key guys like Triple H, Ric Flair, like certain guys loved just getting all bloodied up. And I mean, it is tame compared to what it used to be. And I know anybody watching, they would agree 100%. It's not as brutal as it used to. It's still brutal, but nowhere near what it used to be. Like, nowhere. So back to the match though, between Trish and Becky. Of course, you know, there's a lot of good back and forth. Trish trying to be sneaky one, trying to take the upper hand instead of worrying about the pinfall so much. I mean, she tried a couple times, but more so just escaping the ring from the top, climbing over every chance she got. Wait, what is this? Yes. Those are the days. The blue steel cage match. Oh yeah, go retro. Why not? I remember Hogan and Bundy being in that blue steel cage match. But yeah, what was actually the highlight, because even though Becky did eventually get the upper hand, with the interference of Trisha's buddy there, I forgot her name already. Was it Chloe Stark? She's new from she's from NXT, and she's coming up. But that was the actual surprise, because it didn't help Trish win at all, and Trish was not happy. So her and Chloe are no longer friends anymore, as they start fighting with each other. So apparently we're going to see the fallout of that on Monday Night Raw. But there was a segment that I don't want to leave out, and it was kind of dumb, but it led to a great match. And that was when John Cena was saying how happy he was to be the host. This is the first time ever being a host. He's been everything else but the host. And he gets interrupted by The Miz. Mike The Miz, which I'm actually surprised he's actually said his actual name before. I mean, I've heard other wrestlers say it, but him himself, that was kind of new. But anyhow, he didn't say it tonight, but he had said it on Monday Night Raw. Anyhow, so him, Miz, and Cena have a back and forth, and then which leads to John Cena bringing out L.A. Knight. Now that was an interesting match, and John Cena was keeping it fair, even though he doesn't like the Miz. He said he gives him a lot of respect. But he kept it fair. I mean, even when those guys were fighting in the corner and they were going past 5, John was shoving them away. But of course, Zoe, thank you, Gio. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the kind of impression I get when Zoe was walking away there. Like that, this was like maybe the passing of the torch. But yeah, the match between LA Knight and The Miz was great. I mean, it was kind of okay if you've been watching this storyline for the past few weeks. It was kind of giving. They're like really pushing LA Knight big time. I could see why they're having him go over more frequently. I mean, but here's the thing: he's been over even since NXT. He's just even more over now that he's on the main roster. So. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, that's true. He's definitely the combination of The Rock and Stone Cold. Like the charisma of The Rock and the voice of Stone Cold. It kind of reminds me of. There's quite a few people there's a few people that I've walked in the ring that had that kind of persona of Stone Cold, though, because he's got that kind of persona of like, I'm walking in, I'm going to beat your rear end, and then I'm leaving, and we're done. And that's kind of what he did with LA Knight versus, that's what LA Knight did with The Miz. Like, I'm coming in here, I'm beating you up, and then I'm leaving. And that's what he did. Yeah, I see that with quite a few wrestlers. I've seen Becky Lynch do that. I've seen Ronda pull that act. I've seen quite a few of them do it. Yeah, that's one thing. The Miz has been great for. I mean, of course, fans out there. I'm going to get to your point, Gio, that a lot of fans that they get so ingrained to don't realize that the Miz really is a great WWE superstar, and he is really great at helping people get over. He really is. Like, he's one of those people. You're in the ring with him. Okay, yeah, now you're doing good, because he's one of those guys that can really help get you over. I mean, before Jericho went to AEW, he really helped a lot of guys. He helped the New Day with a lot of their sticks. There's guys backstage like Paul Heyman helps a lot of guys out, and again, and The Miz, he's another one. He really does help people get over. There's certain key guys that, yeah, on screen because of their character you might not like, but really the bigger picture is they're helping people out. They're helping these young up and coming superstars, and that's really nice. That's how some of these young superstars become the characters that they are today that you see in the ring, and it's because of guys like that. So, yeah. Oh,
Hey guys, I know that was my brother Mike. He lost connection there. I just want to say thank you guys for checking in with my brother Mike. But anyway, real fast, I want to say thank you, EOP. This has been a great show, and of course, I want to shout out to my brother Mike for coming up here shooting about the WWE Payback pay-per-view. Guys, it was a great night, great show. But anyway, let me get to these great sponsors real fast. So here goes a couple of them. So guys, stay tuned.
All right, guys, when you're staying local and you want to watch a great game or just hang out with some great people, make sure to go to Dolan's Bar at 24 East Sellers Avenue at Ridley Park. Right off of I-95, south of Philadelphia Airport, Dolan's Bar is the place to be. Great music, great times, memorabilia giveaways, great drinks, and even better food. You never know when a former Philly sports icon walks through the door. You got to go to Dolan's, 24 East Sellers Ave at Ridley Park. Tell PJ that EOP sent you. Go to dolansbar.com or follow them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or even TikTok. We'll see you there for the game. All right, guys, let's talk about Cherry Law Firm. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, you got to call David R. Cherry of the Cherry Firm. Call 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your rights. Again, that number is 610-565-0300. That's 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your right. All right, guys, if you're a Philly sports fan and you want to travel with your favorite team, then travel with the best. Go to phillysportstrips.com. They have self-travel packages and full travel packages available with round-trip flights from the Philadelphia airport. Packages include direct flights, 4-night stays, all-inclusive tailgate parties, lower-level group tickets. Whatever you want, you got it with phillysportstrips.com. If you want to travel to an upcoming Phillies game, make sure you check out Philly Sports Trips. And do not forget, Philly Sports Trips has all the away trips for the Eagles' upcoming 2023 season. Jump on it now, because you do not want to lose out on all these great opportunities. Go to phillysportstrips.com. All right, guys, it's time to talk about Sherry's Tickets. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. Do not pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard-to-come-by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. That's 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, do not overpay and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% using the promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. You'll thank us later. Sherry'sTickets.com.
Mike, I think somebody wants to hop on with you for a little bit.
Uh-oh.
What do we
I
say?
I see who it is. I see.
What do we say? What do we say?
Hey, bring him on.
All right. Well, let's see what Mr. Chia. Let's see what his thoughts were. Chia's. Me and Chia go way. Of course, we all go way back with Chia.
Yes.
But he wants to come up here and he wants to rap with you about what happened tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see what Chia's thoughts were. Like I said, a lot of the action went down. It's funny because last night on the Steel Steps we had predictions, and I predicted most of this card so far. I said there would be new tag team champions. I called that there were going to be that Rey Mysterio was going to contain his title, retain it. I've said so. So far I'm looking good on the card. I said that Rollins was going to retain it. I thought that should have just been. I mean, even though this one was a tough one, I did say Rhea Ripley was going to win, but however, I thought this one was like a 50-50. So
yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? I did have this lined up. So just looking at some of the other matches, I saw. So my thought was, I thought Trish. Joe's checking in here. Joe says, I thought this was a great pay-per-view. I thought Trish definitely was going to. I thought the finish. I thought the cliffhanger was going to be that the Zoe and Trish were going to start doing a double team on Becky like after the match, and they're going to have Lita come out.
Yeah.
I remember in the storyline that Lita got jumped. I want to say right around Backlash time, and this is when Trish would turned heel. So I thought they would crack open that story, and however they didn't. But yeah, I thought this was like I said, it was good stuff here. And then like I said, as far as like I said, most of the matches I've actually nailed down pretty well. So to me, this was kind of a layup though. And if you remember, this past Monday, Rhea Ripley told the Judgment Day, if you boys don't win this tag titles, there's going to be a lot of shaking up around here.
Yeah.
So that gave me the sign that, well, since the bloodline's kind of already over.
Plus you had McDonough getting his hands involved too. So
right. So, but look, I'm going to sit back because the man, the myth, the legend. He's here. He's ready to go. So let's bring him on, Mike, and you and him. We'll chat out about this great pay-per-view.
Hello. What's up, Mikey? It's been a long time.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing tonight?
You like it the way I kicked that off there? The better Bernard?
Yes, the better Bernard. As the friends and all the friends and family out there are probably not used to seeing me. It's been a while since I've been on Devereaux Sports. We've been doing our things over there at the Bislings podcast, but this is about Devereaux Sports, and you're talking Payback. Unfortunately, me and myself, I didn't get home. I was at a wedding today. I get home until I turned on the TV, and it was just as Judgment Day was coming out for their match against Owens and Zayn.
Oh wow! So you missed the first few.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I did miss the first two. I seen at the end of the pay-per-view though, they showed the highlights of the beginning, and what you were just discussing, I just pretty much fed off from what I saw the clips into what you were saying. But yeah, I wish I would have saw that steel cage match. Definitely, because when I seen the outcome at the end, the whole thing with Trish pushing Zoe at the end there, first thing that popped in my mind, and Zoe being as good as she is, as she was on NXT, now she's up on the main roster. And we don't know how long her contract is there for.
Right.
It could be for a short time, and this could be just her chance to give Zoe that shine that she deserves to get that little, put that little credits to her name that she beat a WWE Hall of Famer or whatever, whatnot, to help her rise in her career in
Right.
WWE.
Yeah, that's why I pointed out that she was from NXT, because I don't know how many people know that, but I know you and I knew that.
Well, if everyone remembers, she was there for a short while, and she left.
Yeah.
She got injured, but she came back, and she came back better than before, though. And that happens
definitely.
That happens to a lot of talent, and you see them when they come back. Their form changed. They either lost weight, gained muscle because they put that work in to come back. It's that drive, that fight for them to come back. But now, like I said, she's up on the main roster now. Now, come Monday night, what are we going to see? What do you think is going to happen between the whole thing with Trish and
I think Trish is going to call Zoe out. I think she's going to tell her, get out here right now, and then the whole feud's going to start. And maybe have one match before Trish takes a hiatus.
I think it'll be at one of the bigger shows that they would probably end it before she takes off. I think it's going to be a slow thing. I think Trish maybe try to make peace with her at first on Raw. Like, oh, I didn't really mean it. I got heated. I lost. I didn't mean to. And words are going to get exchanged. Maybe she'll try to attack her again that night, or maybe just string her along a little bit. Like, hey, we're buddies still, and it happens again.
Hey, then pull the classic heel. Like, I'm not your friend.
Yeah, because she don't want to share the spotlight. It's all about Trish. But hey, in the long run, this is good for Zoe though. Yeah, definitely. She will definitely get that. I don't want to use the Grayson Waller term, the rub, but yeah, she will get the rub from Trish, and especially like if she's in there with other vets who been on the big stage already before, that can help her build her up constantly over and over again. So, but hey, that happens for everyone in who comes up to the main roster. You're gonna work with these guys as you were talking, and we were saying about the Miz with the Miz and LA Knight. Same thing. Miz been around. He put his time in. People shitted on him for the longest. Am I allowed to say that on Devereaux? Am I good there with saying she? Nah, maybe. But
well, it already happened. So
okay, yeah. So anyway, people, and we seen the whole transformation of the Miz. Miz's highlight for me was like I was a doubter of the Miz until he had that big WrestleMania moment himself in the main event for the first time, and after that, I became a Miz fan. It's just like, hey, he's putting in the work.
Right.
We can't, like he went a different route than other people. Like some people just go right into NXT. They train this, that, and then, then become superstars. A lot of guys who wrestle will go and say, oh man, he didn't bust his ass years on the independence. He didn't pay his dues. He didn't do that. Hey, look, there's guys who do that and they still don't make it to even get a tryout for there. WWE saw WWE sees potential in people who they can work with, and they mold them their way. And LA Knight, he was a big thing on the indies. He was a big thing in Impact and wherever else he been. And WWE took him. They brought him in. The thing that didn't work was when they were doing that Maximum Male Model stuff. It was like
that was terrible.
No. And I said, everyone, when you watch LA Knight, when he comes to the ring, his attitude, the way he talks, his promos, his in-ring work, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock combined if they had a baby. That's the love child right there. I don't care what anyone says. That's what it is. You got to look. It is what it is.
That's what I was saying. He even had that charisma. Even when he was in NXT, you and I know, before they did the whole, like you said, the maximum thing, which was dumb, and they finally said, okay, and let him be LA Knight, now you see why he's over the way he is. And like you said, he's a combination of Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yeah, no doubt. WWE has their eyes on a lot of talent, and especially like in NXT, I'm sure there's a lot of talent down there that doesn't want to make the jump to the main roster because they're doing so much. They have so much creativity, fun down in NXT as it is. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes guys that get called up to the main roster gets lost in the shuffle, and then either their character gets changed and something ain't working for them, or they come up for like the first month or two, there's a big push, and then all of a sudden then they start slowly getting forgotten about by the writers or whatnot. So it's like some of the people are happy in NXT because they get afraid of making that jump to the main roster and just getting lost.
Yep.
And then, like I said, I jumped on when the Judgment Day match was coming up between them and Owens and Zayn. That was a hell of a match. It was all over the place. My favorite highlight of that match was something so simple, the simplest thing. It was when they were in the penalty box and they popped out wearing the jerseys. They had the gloves on, the hockey sticks. That little thing there was my highlight of the whole thing. Of I don't care. I'm gonna say Jordan Devlin because that's how I know him as. But JD McDonough or whatever the hell his last name they call him now is, but I know him as Jordan Devlin. When he started interfering, I thought that was it. I thought right there was going to be almost like the end of the match. But then, then we got to see Rhea come out and spear Owens through the barricade.
That's when That's when I was getting the feeling that it was going to Judgment Day's way because it was one member after another.
Me personally, okay, I really did want the Judgment Day to win, but something in my mind was tricking me. It was telling me, okay, here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna have everything getting thrown at Zayn and Owens, like from the kitchen sink to whatever. They're gonna throw everything at them. Everyone's gonna come out the woodworks to help. And by some miracle, they're going to pull off the victory. and that was my initial thought on that there. But I was wrong. So, but going forward, where do you see this thing with Judgment? Them with all the titles now, well, somewhat the titles.
I see that what's it call it? I mean, there's gonna obviously Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are not going to be done with the Judgment Day. We both know that. We know that it's going to keep going for so long, but I see the Judgment Day is going to hold those titles for a while because, that's what I was saying earlier. They got. What, 4 members? It's about to be a 5th because McDonough got his hands involved, and we know that that's coming.
I see it coming, and the thing is, I don't see them losing the tag titles. What I see personally is when Priest. I think Priest is gonna cash it in before Royal Rumble. I think he's going to cash it in sometime before the end of this year, hands down. But when he does, they're gonna. I think they're gonna bring JD in as a new member of Judgment Day and
Right.
just give him the title to team with Finn as tag team champions without even winning it. Just like you know how they did with
I can see that.
the Freebird rule, with the
Yes.
New Day and all that stuff. I could see JD just getting the title handed to him, and him and Balor teaming up together while Damian does his thing. Now, if Damian does his thing, who knows? Will the cash in affect the team where he goes on his own and leaves them, where there's like whatever happens between him, like let's say something goes on between him and Finn because he's cashing in, he wants to be the world champion. We all know Finn wants to be the world champion too. But
Yep.
if Priest becomes the world champion, are they still gonna have that little tension? But then what happens with the tag titles? And Priest walks away, said, "Hell with this," I don't need this, and walk away. And then they say, "Hey, JD, here, you're new tag champs with me."
Yeah, I could see that happening because that's what I thought for a little while there, that they were going to push Priest to go in singles competition and really push him as a heel. So we'll see.
Honestly, what I thought before all this, before Payback, I was thinking Priest was going to stay one of the primary guys in Judgment Day, and Finn was going to walk sooner than later. I thought he was going to leave sooner and then start teaming with JD. That's what I initially thought from the door when we started seeing JD and stuff. So
I could kind of see that. I could kind of see how that would look like that.
Yeah, but then at the end there, out of nowhere, Dom coming in with the briefcase, rolls him over, and there you go. They're standing tall with where they got Dom with the North American Championship, Rhea with the women's title, then with the tag belts, and Priest with the Money in the Bank. So right now, what they're saying is true. They are running roughshod. They are own. I know they make claim that they own all the championships on Raw, but no, that's not the case. You're still short a couple.
Yeah, exactly.
But I see where they're talking about where they're supposed to be. They claim to be the dominant faction on Raw, but to me, I don't see them being as dominant as per se if I don't know, as far as the bloodline was on SmackDown when they were all strong still. They was never up to Judgment Day was never up to the level of the status of how great the group was as far as to the fans wise, as when the people's reactions when they come out and stuff like that, the way they interact with everything,
right?
How they feed off the talent, and the talent feeds off the fans. Judgment Day just does not have that, except for when it comes down to Rhea and Dom,
right?
With their little things going back, she's mommy, he's Dom and stuff like that. Every time he talks, they get loud. They want to cut him off.
That's what I was gonna say. Yep.
So as far as Judgment Day goes, Dom and Rhea are, I don't want to say the comedy high spot of the team, of the group, but with Dom being there and always talking about, him serving the hard times, prison life, and this and that. They get over more just from that little spill between him trying to be the tough guy that he is, but he's not, and her just being mommy. So
that's true.
But I'm gonna say kudos to Judgment Day. They had a hell of a night though, and that's all I can say about that match.
Yeah, we'll see what happens from here.
And what else did we have next? We had the Grayson Waller effect, and The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, came out with a huge announcement for the WWE Universe, which was he cashed in all his chips on this, and
Yes.
they ended up bringing in Jey Uso now. So that leaves one lingering question now. Okay, I can see Jay being on there and rising to stardom himself because his stardom was rising over there on SmackDown.
Yep.
The question I have is Jimmy. I think Jimmy's gonna stay on SmackDown. I don't think he's gonna make the jump over to Raw. I think they want to give them their individual pushes so they can shine on their own and not as a team.
Yeah.
And then maybe down the line in the future, maybe get them back together. Or as they talked, like I said, one's on SmackDown, the other one's on Raw, but they talked about having their WrestleMania moment, one of their final matches before they stop wrestling in WWE, is to have them two face each other at WrestleMania.
Oh, well, okay. So maybe, yeah, like you said, maybe after singles competition for a little bit, they do something where it builds up to them going up against each other at a WrestleMania event. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
But I'm gonna make a prediction now. I think on this coming Monday night, we're gonna see probably a match against Grayson Waller versus Jey Uso.
Oh yeah.
I can see it jumping off early. I can see probably Jay coming out early at the top of the show when they kick off. Waller comes out pissed off, a little bit disturbed about what happened, him getting kicked on his own show at Payback, and them making a match for that night, Waller versus Uso. You know, it could probably make it wait to the end of the night, probably to go off the air or something like that, or maybe at the 10 o'clock hour, whatnot. But we won't know until Monday night and find out, see what actually truly happens. But that's my prediction.
They could, but I could see them promoting it at the beginning of the show to kick it off. That would be a good way to kick off Monday Night Raw.
Definitely. Hands out. Even if they don't have a match, I can see them opening up the show with some shenanigans going on between the two of them for that.
Absolutely. What else do we have?
Next match. Yeah.
Yeah, what is the next match after that? Oh, that's Rhea, right?
Rhea and Raquel Rodriguez. I'm so used to calling her Gonzalez until he switched her name to Rodriguez. But it's an Ez. It's an Ez on the end, though. So we'll go with it. Ez. I'm a huge fan of both of them. I love both these women. Very talented. Both strong as hell. Raquel with the size advantage, being tall and all that stuff. But yeah, I did not see Raquel definitely not going over in this match at all, because right now Judgment Day is riding their wave of success as of right now, pertaining to their brand and their group, what they're going. So even though they had frictions coming into the pay-per-view somewhat, they're leaving the pay-per-view on a high note. And if we don't get Jey Uso at the beginning of Raw, we could have Judgment Day kicking off the show Raw.
That's true.
With them bragging about all the titles they have. Now Raquel, they showed her as she tried to put the full force on that power slam she tried to do. She didn't get the whole lift as she was trying to jump in the air and slam her down and stuff. So she was babying it a little bit. I seen one hiccup when she went to they claimed Rhea like slipped out of it when she went kind of like for a power bomb and fell backwards towards the ropes. and Rhea landed on her feet as she was holding on to the rope, but somewhat fell too. But but it is what it is. You know, they're injured. You're definitely going to baby the injury itself, and it's going to take some kind of tone effect to whatever maneuvers that you are definitely going to try to do. So hands down, you're not going to be 100% when you're trying to capitalize on your opponent to try to get the advantage.
It was overall, though, it was a really good match.
It was solid hitting back and forth.
I kind of had I had the feeling of, one, of course, Rhea's probably going to go over, but I knew there was maybe that slight possibility, but probably not.
Yeah. The part where she picked her up, was it power bombed her or swung her into the barrier to the outside? The commentary team definitely made it a point to refer to everyone, to let everyone know that is something that Rhea has done to her opponents. But tonight, Raquel demonstrated that she could do it too, but onto her.
Yep. Yeah, so I see them continuing the feud. I don't think this is done yet.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I do not, with everything going on with what happened with between what happened the weeks prior and also with what happened to Liv. So yeah, I think slowly but surely it's definitely going to continue. All right.
And then after that was the main event with Shinsuke Nakamura.
I was surprised. I was really, truly so surprised. I thought Nakamura was actually going to walk out with the championship. With everything going on, with the highlights, the clips, the videos of showing him training, showing him with the martial arts background. When you incorporate all that, plus the whole thing with the back injury and stuff like that.
That's what had me thinking Shinsuke was going to win.
But okay, it's not just the back injury part that a lot of people picked out the back injury part. But I'm looking at the way the story was being told, the way Shinsuke when Shinsuke was talking about the tattoos on his back, between that and showing the video footage of, like I said, of him training, not just wrestling, but doing other martial arts stuff as well. And the way the story was just being accumulated and told, I think it would be a time where Shinsuke will come in, take the title, knock Rollins down off his pedestal, just to give Rollins the opportunity to come back and win it at a later date again as revenge or something like that. Maybe do the whole back injury gimmick where, he's hurt, he's injured, this is the reason why he lost. Next, he's rehabbing himself. He's coming back. It's like the return of Rocky. Whatever. He ain't gonna be running up the steps or up the side of a Russian mountain with a log on his shoulders and stuff. But it'd be like a Seth Rollins redemption comeback.
Yes.
Like coming back from the back injury to fight through it, to go get his title back. For a moment like that against Shinsuke Nakamura, how he's looking at as a baby face now in WWE, pretty much the crowd loves him as a baby. And then with Becky as a baby face, with them with their kid, I'm thinking, here's me thinking in my head, when they go for a rematch, they could have came out and did a classic Ricky the Dragon Steamboat entrance where he came out with his wife, with his child in his arms.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have been a beautiful ending to the story where, like, Steamboat, he rode, or like Savage was trying to go for a suplex, and Steamboat just rolled him up with a small package.
I remember that.
This would be a nice storyline to run. Like I said, from Nakamura winning to the recovery of Seth and coming out with because he said about his family. Seth mentioned his family and stuff. You try and take all this away from me, and mentioning my family. So this would be a nice storybook ending. Him coming out with the family before he has his match, and then celebrating at the end. The family comes in the ring with him as he's that kind of thing. It would have been a nice, beautiful storybook ending for that going on. And I would say that definitely would have to happen within this year by December. Before
I was gonna say
by December or January, before Royal Rumble, because now here I'm going again with my thinking. If it happened like that, where Seth Rollins gets the title back in this particular storyline that's going in my head, and then insert after he beats Nakamura for the win, he's celebrating, and the cash-in comes in from Damian Priest. As soon as he wins the title back from Nakamura, Priest cashes it in.
And takes it.
So it looks like a storybook ending, but then it's
there's a twist to it.
Let's put a pause on that. Slow your roll. Slow down, Seth. Let's not celebrate too quick. But that's my imagination running wild in the world of WWE. How I look outside the box sometimes. Sometimes my ideas and thoughts are a little too much for others. I try to look at from different logical standpoints, viewpoints that they could work with. But then, like I said, a lot of people want to see their favorites, or they're like, oh no, they should do this, they should do that. Yes, it's from for the ones out there on Devereaux who don't know me, I've been in the professional wrestling industry for over 30 years, and it's like I look at things much differently than from a fan's point of view, and like I think fans' point of views are great because there's a lot of great storytelling fans out there who maybe never been in the ring, but they're great writers behind the scenes who can tell a nice story for WWE and stuff like that, or let it be AEW or whatnot. So, but hands down, like I said, when I start letting my gears go, that damn hamster on the wheel just keeps it turning, and whatever comes out my mouth, it's either a hit or miss. It's like spaghetti.
That's a good storyline though that you had.
Yeah, but
that's a good build up to, like you said, the Rocky, like the revenge kind of.
Yeah, with everything all accumulating, but it just doesn't blend over into each other until like later on down the road, or down like a little bit here. You might start getting hints about it, like this might happen, but no. Then there's a twist, something else happens, and then they come back to it again. Like, well, I thought they were going to do that before, but they didn't. They switched it up. Oh, and now they're doing it now. So it's like, and how WWE, they play with the universe's emotions when you want to see something. When, like, okay, especially a big one where they get with people's emotions is Royal Rumble time. When you think so-and-so is going to return, and you're waiting, and you're hoping this is going to be number 30 or whatever. And like that one pay-per-view you had, who was it? Rey Mysterio, and nobody was happy. Nobody was happy.
Because they were all expecting Daniel Bryan. Remember that?
Yes. See, it's the emotional roller coaster that WWE puts the fans on. But you know what? They do a great job at it.
Yes, they do.
They highly do a great job at it. Now
Absolutely.
with the old man out the way, I hate saying that, the old man, but you know, the Vince with him
Yes.
on the sidelines, and Triple H and other people are able to get their stories and their points across of what they want to see and stuff like that. And when he was the one making the main decision at the end, he would shoot down a lot of people's ideas and stuff like that. And like, no, we're not gonna do this. Oh, we're gonna change this guy's character. We're gonna do this. Oh, because you know, like, okay, but you know, trust me, there's a lot of old stuff that I love, but even I have to come to acceptance that the industry has changed. Some for the better, some for the worse. But at the same time, I can't really go off of my emotions, what I like. So, like I said, I try to look at it a bigger picture the best I can, especially when they're a business. They're a business. Their job is for putting asses in the seats. So they got to make those ticket sales. They got to, you know, what they think that would draw the fans in.
Right.
And they're not going to hit every shot. You're definitely going to miss the shot sometimes where, you know, you might have a nice build-up for something, and then when it comes to the match time, the match could be a letdown.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
Hence, Brock Goldberg. Okay. Brock versus Goldberg, Steve Austin as the referee. That was a huge letdown. But then that's on the talents part. That's like you're a coach, you're putting together a great Eagles team for the year, whatever. It looks good on paper, but if they're not out there executing it, what your plays you can come up with the greatest plays in the world, but if they're not performing on the field and they're not doing the work that they need to do, just so happens the other team could just be better, and you know, and they just outplay your asses, or you're having a very shitty day. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's all I have for the pay-per-view. You know, like I said, I jumped on at that one match and I got to see the highlights at the end. I figured, let me jump on here with my man Mike. I haven't talked to Mikey in a long time, and I think this was a good chance to jump on, like, because like it popped up on my on my Facebook feed. I'm like, why is Mikey on there by himself? Who else is talking? I'm looking at it like, who else is talking to Mike? I'm like,
I'm backstage. I'm like, who's going to be on the show with me? And Pat's like, you're going on yourself. I'm like, myself? He's like, yeah.
honestly, if I did not go to my cousin's wedding today, I was going to sit home, watch the pay-per-view, and then I was going to jump on by myself and do my own highlight thing. But I hate doing things. I've been doing stuff lately by myself on my show. But so now I'm not on hiatus. I decided to tweak my format on our show over here, where I'm not going to cover everything every time. I'm just, as of right now, for the morning time breakfast and buy slams, it's going to be selective. It's going to be, I'm going to just talk about each company that I work for. I'm going to talk, instead of me talking about them every week, just giving them another match. Oh, well, this match was added, that match. I'm going to wait till everything was added. And then 1 week before the show, that's when I'll do my show and talk about that show that I'm going to, that I'll be at. But if I talk about anything else, it's definitely going to be a pop-up show where you know what it is. It happens anytime, anywhere, with anyone. So like, tonight would have been a pop-up show for me.
Yeah.
But I'm popping up with you right now, though.
Yeah, this is a
surprise.
This is a first. Yes, a surprise for me. Actually, this is a first for both of us in a long time. How long? You know, we haven't done the show together in a couple of years.
Yeah, we're on. We are currently on season 3. We're on season 3. You were season 1, and I think maybe half of season 2. I want to say maybe.
I think so. I think you're
or,
right.
Or at least the beginning of season 2 or something. And then I had T on, T's on, T's off, T's on. Oh, he's driving me crazy because he likes to sleep in. But then it's hard. It's hard for a lot of guys. I understand that between work schedules and it is Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. But currently it's not every Sunday morning.
Right.
I definitely will be putting out the dates that I will be on now. Because like I said, trying to do it every weekend, especially by yourself, it's such a huge pain. And
oh yeah. I can imagine.
And then the reason why I stopped covering like WWE and stuff like that, because I got so much other stuff going on where I can't focus on them, AEW, and whatever else is going on. So I was hoping to try to get together a team that would just cover those ones while I cover these. So because if you can just split up the work, divide it up amongst other podcast team members, and that way you don't have that whole stress of trying to do it all by yourself. And I seen you on here. I'm like, and that's why I jumped in the chat room and I started talking just to talk with you to see, to give you some feedback. Like, okay, Mikey, I'm here, I'm talking. Then I seen Pat. Went to his commercial breaks, and I'm like, yo, put me in the room. I'll come in and help Mikey.
Well, thank you for jumping in and helping out.
I'm glad he did that. It is Labor Day weekend, folks. Man, I don't want to be taking over your show here, but it is Labor Day weekend. There's a whole host of stuff going on, whether it's wrestling shows out there, whether it's sports shows going on. I'm looking forward to. Hey, is that game this weekend? Between us and the Patriots.
Would be next weekend.
Oh, that's okay.
It's always the weekend of school. But Chia, look, I want to say thanks for hopping on. Chia, where can the fans? Where can they find you at?
Oh, real easy. Okay, me personally, you can go to Chio247.com. Chio247.com. That's my personal website, and through there you can find all my social media pages. Now for our podcast, it's real simple. bodyslamspodcast.com, and on there we have past shows, so you can either listen to the audio version where we have all 3 shows, either whether it's Breakfast and Body Slams, Thursday Night Slams where we do interviews, and the pop-up shows. With the pop-up shows, there's not as many as the other 2. But in the video format, we do have it laid out. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3 will be on the main screen then, and it'll be the most recent show will be the one that's up that you can view. You can like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification button to find out when we are live, especially on YouTube. We're trying to build that up, especially, and most definitely I give love and support out to Devereaux Sports, because if it wasn't for Pat, and then when we started off over at Crack Bell, and then we moved over to what was the other place? Yeah, Last Out Media. We wouldn't be here. Pat, he made me the offer to come in. I said, what the hell? Let's do it. We did one show. I don't want to say shits and giggles, but hey, it worked out. Then we did 2 shows and 3, and that snowball effect. And eventually I just moved on, since I found it simpler for me to just do it from home, because travel wise, I can't do it all the time though. So.
But look, and it's funny that I got you on this time, because 5 years ago, I took this brand, I took it under the Edges for the Sports Network, but 5 years ago I started EOP, and Devereaux Sports, and what better way to have Chia, one of the original members, pop up here with one of the original members.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it was.
Look, let me wrap this one up. Guys, look,
I just want to say, I just want to say, thank you for having me on. It's great. it was great to sit here and chat with the better Bernard.
Whoa.
The better Bernard, the Saint Bernard, Mikey.
And it was great to see you guys, and especially talking with Uchio at the end there. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on, Pat. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. So, but yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up for everyone. Thank you again. Check out Chio. Check out my brother. They're all on Twitter, Facebook, you name it. They'll follow. It's right there. It's not hard to look at the names.
If you look right there now, I am now currently on Threads, the new social media, right there.
Yeah.
You know, it's the and not Twitter, the X alternative to them. So
Yes. So, but yeah, guys, thank you so much, and stay tuned next week. The Steel Steps podcast will be coming to you live next Friday. Joey, Chris, Hakeem will be back in the house. Guys, thank you so much.